And now your host, Richard Thomas.
Hello, and welcome to a special edition of It's a Miracle, featuring miracle children. You know, when something tragic happens to a child, it touches us very deeply. And when circumstances combine to save that child from suffering, it can truly seem miraculous. Well, you're about to meet some very lucky and very special children. We begin with a young boy named Chance, and the miracle that gave him a second chance. When a friend of Sterling Hill's found a stray running loose in the small town of Zephyr, Texas, he knew exactly where to take it. To a young boy looking for a pet.
Yes, so?
Chance took a liking to him right away.
Chance Hill named the dog Rebel, and the two became inseparable.
Chance and Rebel come together just like glue. Pretty well, anytime you'd see Chance, you'd see Rebel. Or if you seen Rebel, you'd see Chance. They stuck together.
Mary Hill watched as the bond between her son and Rebel grew.
Rebel followed Chance everywhere he went. Anytime Chance was outside, Rebel was always right there. Rebel was very loving. He was really playful.
Like any boy his age, 12-year-old Chance was always on the lookout for an adventure.
My husband Sterling was planning on building a shop, and he needed sand to lay the foundation.
What do y'all think?
Pretty good?
Pretty nice.
Do me a favor, it's not a toy. I'll not be playing on it or around it, all right?
Yes, sir.
When they delivered the sand, I just told the boys, do not dig in sand. I said, it's too unstable a material to be digging in.
Even though he'd been warned, Chance found the sand pile tough to resist.
Chance, son. What'd I tell you about playing on that sand pile? Get down.
I'd caught Chance digging in the sand pile.
Come here.
He'd promised me, he said, Dad, okay, I won't dig no more. I never caught him digging again after that time.
Chance tried to keep his promise, but eventually the temptation proved too great. As Chance struggled under the weight of the sand, Rebel came to his aid, but the dog couldn't pull his friend to safety. Unaware of the tragedy unfolding outside their home, Mary and Sterling went on with their daily lives.
I told Sterling that I needed to go by and pick up this birthday gift that a friend of mine had got me, and he said that's fine.
That sounds good. Be careful. Happy birthday, baby.
As I was walking out the door, Rebel was standing directly in the doorway.
Sterling!
And he had sand all over his face.
He's been out there digging in that sand pile is what he's been doing.
When I saw Rebel, I jokingly said, "You're in trouble. You have been messing with that sand and Daddy's gonna get you."
He's a mess. Y'all are great.
And he just cocked his head sideways and just looked at me.
Hours later, Chance had still not returned home, and his brother Justin sensed that something was wrong.
I went out and looked for Chance in the field. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find Chance anywhere.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, son, what are you doing home so early?
I can't find Chance.
What do you mean you can't find him? It's dark outside. What did you call him? Here, call JR.
My dad had me call some of Chance's friends, but he wasn't there. Then my dad called my mom and told her that she should get home.
Mary, honey, I need you to come home. We can't find Chance.
By the time Mary arrived home, it had been nearly 2 hours since anyone had seen the young boy.
Have y'all found him?
And I told Sterling that Justin and I would go look for Chance at the gym and that he could stay home in the event that Chance came while we were gone. As we were backing out of the driveway, Rebel ran in front of the truck and just stopped and looked directly at us. And that's when it just hit me like a ton of bricks, weight, and I just stopped.
Why is Rebel not with Chance? Rebel's always with Chance.
It just dawned on me that Rebel never left Chance's side.
Sterling?
Mary rushed back inside to alert her husband.
You gotta get the flashlight.
What's wrong?
We gotta go check the backyard. I just got a bad feeling.
So I grabbed the flashlight and started around.
Yeah.
As I seen the sand pile, a dread kind of come over me. I said, he couldn't be playing in that sand pile. I said, don't even think such a thing. When my flashlight hit the sand pile, it was the most terrifying time for me. It was like a nightmare unfolding right before my eyes.
Oh, God! Son! God! Mary!
The next thing I heard was him scream my name. And when I heard my name, I knew then that something was wrong and that Chance was back there and that he was hurt. Chance was not breathing. I'll never forget seeing the look on Chance's face. I mean, I knew he wasn't alive.
His body temp was very cold. His heart was not beating. No pulse that I could find anywhere. I really didn't have a good feeling at that point. I was very, very upset.
Knowing that the nearest ambulance was at least 20 minutes away, Sterling began CPR.
I knew that this is his only chance to make it, and I had to give what I had. It was just going from worse to worse. Chance didn't respond to nothing. I really and truly thought Chance was gone. I thought we'd lost him.
Physically and emotionally exhausted, Sterling barely heard the ambulance arrive.
Hurry up!
They went in, started oxygen, and they put the shock paddles on him.
Staying clear?
You could see the look in their eyes. This ain't going well, this ain't going well.
Be filled.
To lose a child is something none of us want to let ourselves think about. You just don't let it enter your mind.
Let's go, guys.
My husband, he said, Mary, we may have to prepare ourselves for what they're going to tell us when we get to the hospital. And I just couldn't accept that, and I wasn't going to accept that. I just thought, what we need here is a miracle.
Chance was rushed to the Brownwood Regional Medical Center, where his parents arrived minutes later.
The chaplain and social worker met me at the door. When I saw them, I just thought there's only one reason that they would have a chaplain. I just told them, I said, I know why you're here. I just started praying again. I knew that's all I had left.
While Mary prayed for her son's life, Dr. Kenneth Winton and his team were doing everything humanly possible to answer those prayers.
Temperature for us.
Start CPR.
Start CPR.
And at that time, we didn't even have a pulse or respiration.
Let's have a listen.
Tubes in.
Personally, I didn't think that we had much of a chance of saving this child.
No pulse.
It's one of the most difficult things to have to determine for a physician in the emergency room is how long you have to continue doing CPR.
No pulse.
Continue that CPR.
And it had been about 10 minutes into the procedure when I felt I needed to speak with the family.
Let's stop this. This isn't working.
This child basically was dead. He's not breathing, doesn't have a pulse.
He just shook his head and he said, I'm sorry, but he didn't make it.
At the point that silence fell, I refused to think about it. Very difficult at this time.
Despite all the evidence, Mary Hill's faith was still unshakable.
I just sat down in the chair and I just started praying again that, God, you raised Lazarus from the dead. I have all the faith that you are going to do something here.
I know this must be really difficult for both of you. And
Doctor, we need you back in the trauma room.
I'd only been in there just a few minutes when my nurse called me. And I came back into the trauma room, and we started to get a pulse, started to get respiration.
Pulse is holding really well.
And as we continued to monitor the child, it was remarkable because he started to come back, and his blood pressure started coming up, and his pulse got stronger. So we were just simply amazed.
That's unbelievable, unbelievable.
Their prayers were answered. Good news. Good news. Things are looking much better. And about 10 minutes later, I went back into the family and told them that
Still comatose.
Chance is doing pretty good. We have a real good chance of taking care of him.
Thank you.
Very well.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
He's doing much better, much better.
To be told your son was pronounced dead, and 15 minutes later, you're being told that he has a slight pulse. It's like you're in another world.
After more than 2 hours buried in the sand and another hour in the ambulance and hospital, Chance Hill was still alive, but no one could say whether his brain was intact.
I was real concerned about how long he'd been without oxygen.
He was in very, very critical condition. And we were warned that we are so lucky to have what we had.
You gotta pull through this.
That there were still no guarantees. We continued to get positive responses, but we still couldn't be 100% certain until he came out of coma.
Chance was put in the care of a neurologist, and a few days later, something remarkable occurred.
The neurosurgeon come in, and just as simple as, Chance, open your eyes, and his eyes come open. And then he told him to hold up 2 fingers, and Chance just held up 2 fingers just like that.
It's gonna be okay.
He says, he's fine, his brain's fine. That was just breathtaking all right there.
Love you. You've been great.
I remember waking up in the hospital. I saw my mom and dad. I remember seeing them, and that made me glad.
When things like this happen, it's hard to say what brought him through it. Was it good medicine or God in heaven? It's just miraculous.
That was the most wonderful feeling, to know that Chance was going to be the same little boy that he was before the accident. God had not only given him back to us, he gave him back to us 100% completely whole.
And there was one member of the Hill family who was especially happy that Chance was home.
You could just see the joy on Rebel's face when he saw Chance, and Chance his too. It was as if Rebel didn't even know that we were there. It was just something between him and Chance. In some ways, Rebel was a hero dog because he was a loyal companion to Chance. Without Rebel, I don't think we would have found him in time.
I think Rebel was here for a reason. He was here to save my life, and I love him.
Please? Make you sweat, yeah.
People call me Miracle Boy and Second Chance and all kinds of stuff. When they call me that, it makes me feel special.
I think I prayed for a miracle, and I think we as a family experienced a miracle. The doctors, the nurses, family, friends, they got to see a miracle right before their eyes.